Soft piano music begins. Gentle rain sounds in the background. Narrator calm, emotional tone. It was one of those nights, when the world felt too heavy to breathe. The rain whispered against the window of a tiny apartment. The kind that smelled faintly of old paint and unkept dreams. Pause, soft sigh. Emily Carter sat at her small kitchen table, surrounded by bills and silence. The flicker of her laptop screen cast shadows across her tired face. Her eyes red and puffy from exhaustion scanned the numbers again and again. Rent overdue. Electricity overdue. And the hospital bill for her 6-year-old son, Noah, still unpaid. She'd just come home from another double shift at the diner. Smiling for strangers while her feet screamed in pain. And now, as midnight ticked by, she realized, even that extra shift wasn't enough. Music softens. Her phone buzzed. A reminder. Final payment due tomorrow. Emily closed her eyes, a tear slipping down. Tomorrow was Halloween. She had promised Noah they'd carve a pumpkin. That somehow, they'd make it special. But promises didn't pay bills. With trembling fingers, she opened her phone, and typed a message, a desperate plea meant for her landlord. Soft typing sounds. Please, Mr. Davis, give me one more week. I'll find the money. I swear I will. Her thumb hit send. And in her haze of tears, she didn't notice, it went to the wrong number. Transition sound, light piano note. Miles away, in a penthouse overlooking the glittering city skyline, Alexander Grant was sitting alone. To the world, he was a billionaire. The kind people whispered about in boardrooms and magazines. Powerful. Sharp. Untouchable. But behind closed doors, he was just a man, staring into the silence of an empty home. His wife had been gone 5 years now. Since that night, that accident, he'd buried himself in work. Money became his armor. Success became his escape. But loneliness that never left. He sat in his study, scrolling through endless emails and business reports, when his phone buzzed. Please, Mr. Davis, give me one more week. I'll find the money. I swear I will. He frowned. Wrong number, obviously. But something about it? The rawness, the fear, the quiet heartbreak behind those words made him pause. He read it again. And again. Then, for the first time in years, he replied to a stranger. Who is this? Pause, faint heartbeat sound, rising tension. Emily stared at her phone. Oh no. Her heart dropped. She'd sent it to the wrong number. Quickly, she typed back, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Wrong number. Please ignore this. A few seconds later, ding. Are you okay? Just 3 words. Simple. Kind. Unexpected. She stared at the message for a long moment. No one had asked her that in months. Her fingers trembled as she replied, not really, but I will be. And that was the moment everything began to change. Soft instrumental music fades in, hopeful tone. Days passed. Then a week. They started talking again little by little. What began as a wrong text turned into good morning messages, then small conversations that somehow felt too big to be random. Emily told him about Noah. About how her husband had died 3 years ago. About the endless shifts, the empty fridge, and the nights she cried herself to sleep. Quietly, so her son wouldn't hear. Alexander listened. Really listened. He never said much about himself. Only that he understood pain. That he lost someone too. And slowly, a connection grew. Two strangers tied by loneliness, finding light in unexpected words. Piano deepens, warm background tone. Then, one evening, a message came that changed everything. Emily, I know this is sudden, but I want to help. Meet me tomorrow at the cafe on 7th Avenue. Noon. No pressure. Her breath caught. Help from a stranger she didn't even know his real name. But something inside her. Maybe hope, maybe faith. Whispered, go. Scene transition, cafe ambience. The next morning, she wore her best dress. A faded blue one, soft from too many washes. Her only pair of heels clicked nervously against the sidewalk. Inside the cafe, the smell of coffee and rain filled the air. And there he was. Tall. Dark hair. Eyes like he carried the weight of 1,000 stories. When he stood, she felt her heart stutter. Emily. His voice was gentle. Like he'd been waiting to say her name all his life. You're Alexander. He smiled softly. You sent me a wrong text that wasn't so wrong after all. Soft chuckle sound, warm piano continues. They talked for hours. About life. About loss. About dreams they were too tired to chase anymore. He learned how fiercely she loved her son. She learned how deeply he missed his wife. When the check came, Alexander paid it quietly. Then slid a small envelope across the table. Inside was a note and a card. For Noah's medical bills. And maybe a little something, for a costume. Tears filled her eyes. I can't accept this. He smiled. You can. Because sometimes, we meet people for a reason. Transition, time passing sound, birds chirping. From that day on, their worlds began to intertwine. Alexander visited the diner often. Always sitting in the same corner booth, ordering the same black coffee, just to see her smile. And Noah he adored him instantly. Called him Mr. Alex. And drew little pictures for him every visit. The billionaire and the waitress. The lonely man and the tired mother. Two souls healing in the quiet rhythm of ordinary days. Music shifts, light tension build. But peace rarely comes without a test. One afternoon, a journalist spotted them at the diner. Snapped a photo. The next morning, the headline spread like wildfire, billionaire CEO dating single mom waitress. Social media tore them apart. The board questioned his judgment. And Emily, she received hundreds of hateful messages. She broke down, trembling. I can't do this, Alex, she cried. Your world isn't mine. I can't let Noah see people talk about me like this. Alexander reached for her hand. Emily, I don't care what they say. You changed me. His voice cracked. You reminded me what it means to feel again. She turned away, tears falling. Then prove it. Not with money. Not with power. Just, be here. Music softens, emotional piano solo. And he did. He didn't make press statements. He didn't run from scandal. He simply stayed. Every morning, he came to the diner. Every evening, he helped Noah with homework. Every night, he showed up when the world grew loud. He was just there. And sometimes, that's all love really is. Staying. Soft wind and winter chime sounds. Weeks passed. Christmas Eve arrived. Emily came home from her shift, snowflakes melting in her hair. When she opened the door, she froze. The entire apartment shimmered with fairy lights. Noah was laughing, covered in frosting. And Alexander was in the kitchen, wearing an apron 2 sizes too small, decorating cookies like it was the most important job in the world. She laughed through tears. "What is this?" He looked up, smiling. "A second chance. For all of us." Soft emotional climax music builds. That night, they sat by the window. Snow fell softly beyond the glass. Noah slept between them, a cookie still in his tiny hand. Emily turned to him, voice trembling. "I don't know how this happened, one wrong text, and..." He reached out, brushing her hair gently aside. "There are no wrong texts," he whispered. "Just messages meant to find us. When we've forgotten how to hope." She smiled, tears falling. "You really think so?" "I know so," he said. "Because you were my message, Emily." Music swells, gentle orchestral lift. And as the city glowed below, 2 hearts once broken by loss found their way back to love. Not through perfection, not through wealth, but through one small act of kindness, and a wrong text that was never truly wrong. Music fades to quiet piano and soft heartbeat. Narrator warm closing tone. Sometimes, life doesn't need grand miracles. Just one moment of compassion. One stranger who cares. And one message. Sent at exactly the right time. Fade out music, end.